Out there right now, we're quiet. You know, it's interesting to look back. Do you remember this time last year, almost to the date, we had that snowstorm as well?
Wow.
The big difference, though, is we have the cold locked in before. We struggled last year at this time with getting some warm air developing, and some sleet was the result. I think this is going to be a majority snow event for the entire area, with the exception of the immediate coastline, seeing a little bit of a wintry mix to start things off. So quiet now, temperatures bitterly cold, but out ahead of this storm, there are a ton of winter weather alerts, pretty much the entire eastern seaboard, stretching from Maine all the way south to Florida. You don't see that too often there. Winter storm warnings up there, out just to the west of Jacksonville and interior Florida. And we have our own here in Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. Winter storm warnings are effective today, starting at 1 p.m., lasting through tomorrow afternoon. And that's for significant disruptive snow totals by the time the snowstorm wraps up tomorrow mid-morning. Temperatures this morning setting the stage, ground still frozen solid. Look at these numbers. We had wind chills like this the last few mornings. This morning, there is no wind. These are just the air temperatures. 5 degrees in Chesapeake, 8 in Surrey, 6 in Franklin to Ahoskie, 12 now in Williamsburg, 4 in Gatesville, 12 Elizabeth City, and 16 up in Wachapreague. So let's go through the timeline of this storm. Throughout the daylight hours today, we're going to start to increase those clouds. In fact, our temperatures will climb above the freezing mark for the first time since Saturday afternoon. I don't think it's a long enough period of time to thaw things out, and we're only getting into the mid to upper 30s, so not a huge warm-up. Now tonight, as those temperatures are hovering around 32 at the onset of the precipitation, we'll start off briefly as a wintry mix, then change over to all snow. That snow becomes moderate to heavy overnight tonight, and that's when we'll see the bulk of the accumulations occurring. At the same time, as the storm starts to intensify, our winds pick up, sustained 30, 35 miles per hour, especially in coastal locations. Gusts over 40. In fact, I've looked at some of the models showing 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts, and that'll reduce our visibility as it blows around the snow, and we could be talking blizzard conditions possible in certain areas by tomorrow morning. Still snowing steadily by Thursday morning. Snow begins to taper off from west to east between 8 and 10 a.m. Very strong winds will continue to blow the snow all across the day, all throughout the day, I should say, and into the evening hours, and that leads to a fresh snowpack, strong winds, single-digit lows are possible, and sub-zero wind chills not only Thursday night and Friday morning, but then again Friday night and Saturday night, with that snow not melting anytime soon. Here's how it looks on futurecasts. Again, you see those clouds beginning to increase today. Our temperatures do climb above that freezing mark. By this evening's commute, we start to see some precipitation breaking on out in northeastern North Carolina. Notice it is green because those temperatures are above freezing at that point, but with the ground frozen, could be talking a little bit of some icing setting up there and some sleet pellets. Cold air injects itself. We're over to all snow for the most part, almost everywhere, with the exception of probably the Outer Banks there, being surrounded by the warmer ocean waters. You'll probably see a mix for a longer duration of time. Then that snow heavy at times overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning before it wraps up from west to east between 8 and 10 a.m. Then we're left with clearing skies, very cold conditions, and those winds making those wind chills feel like they're in the single digits tomorrow, and that snow continuing to blow around all night. So how much snow can we expect? We've upped those totals. 6 to 10 inches of snow likely in the areas in purple here. You could have some locally higher amounts depending on where the banding sets up. Sharp cutoff the farther inland you go, although some models now are trying to expand that heavier snow farther inland. All depends on exactly where that center of low pressure is as it starts to develop, which it's starting to do now off the southeast coast. 38 today, again, so above freezing for the first time, leading to that wintry mix developing this evening. Over to all snow tonight. That snow heavy at times with blizzard conditions possible, down to 28. Those gusts over 40 miles per hour. In the 7-day, we get cold, we get sunny and dry, so that snow sticking around at least through the weekend before it starts to melt away, with temperatures climbing into the 40s with rain chances going up by the middle of next week.